Good day, everyone. Happy almost Earth Day, and welcome. I am Mikey with two E's. I'm also known as Metro Mikey. The two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the two things that I care about most. I'm broadcasting with renewable energy here from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And for those I've not friended yet, I'm a business and sustainability coach and the proud owner of a sustainable salon where I specialize in eco-friendly platinum and blonding services. Today, I also have the honor of being one of your hosts and MCs for our Green Beauty Community Live productions. If you're watching live from home or work or wherever you may be, feel free to drop your name and where you're tuning in from in the chat. And if at any point you have questions, comments, or concerns, put those in the chat. Our moderator, Hannah, is likely to have the answer just as soon as she can. We love keeping you all updated. So before we jump into our interview today, we have a few announcements that I would love to share. As I said, tomorrow is Earth Day. Thank you everyone for joining us this month, celebrating with the Green Beauty community. This Earth Month, we launched our Green Pledge campaign. This was a way to give beauty professionals and brands the opportunity to make a promise for a better planet. The link will be in the chat or in the replay if you're watching after the show is concluded, so that you can take the Green Pledge. And the Green Pledge is just so we can share with the world the steps that we're taking to make the beauty industry a more safe and sustainable place. Another thing we accomplished is launching our Green Artist Collective. This showcases our green beauty community members who are also sustainable beauty leaders in this leading industry. We can read more about the featured spread for the GAC Green Artist Collective in Beauty Launchpad. A link will be provided in the chat or in the show notes if you're catching the replay. And we also want to thank everyone so far through this whole journey, but especially during Earth Month, who donated so generously to our 501c nonprofit. And we want to remind anyone as we head into Earth Day and as we leave Earth Month and go into Earth Year, because we can practice this all year long, that Inner Sense is matching the Green Pledge campaign up to $5,000 in donations. So this is the time to make the most difference. So with that said, I would love to introduce our esteemed guest today and hear a little bit about GSN Planet. So Mike, I'm going to pass it over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization?
Sure. My name is Mike Brueggemann, and I am CEO and founder of a couple of different brands. One of them is Organic Male, which is a men's skincare line, which I launched back in 2008, before men were even going to spas. So wanted to be the voice of men in spa. Grew up on an organic dairy farm, so I have always been passionate about organics and organic ingredients. And then in 2020, I launched a second brand. And I have great timing, by the way. The first brand was in 2008, the first recession. The second brand, which is called Haya Wellness, which stands for Happy as I Am, happened to launch that during a pandemic. So my timing is always perfect. I'm also on the board of GSN Planet, which I have been on multiple times over the course of GSN's history. And it's a passion project of mine. It's something that is very near and dear to my heart as an organic farmer.
Amazing. I can't wait to dive more into that. But we also have our esteemed guest, Nicole. Hi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to this organization?
Hi, Mikey. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'll apologize in advance for technical difficulties. Hopefully everything is fine. My name's Nicole Lamps. I'm the COO of Hanua Hawaiian Skincare. We're an Earth First brand. And in fact, Hanua actually means Earth in Hawaiian because the Earth really is our top stakeholder. And I've been with Hanua about 5 years and helped it grow to various retailers. But prior to that, I was in renewable energy and startups in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I've been in finance for several decades. And I got involved with GSN Planet because Hanua is also a spa brand, and we cater to a lot of spas in the Hawaiian Islands. And I was looking to do more to help the spas and our hospitality partners be more sustainable and be more earth-centric. And in research, I came across GSN and thought, well, this is great. This platform has the education, the resources, the community that I really need to help our spa partners get there, because as a brand, we don't have the bandwidth to figure this out, and nor do we have the expertise. So this was very fortuitous. I've been involved with GSN for a couple of years, not nearly as long as Mike, but we're both very passionate about the organization and what we're doing.
Amazing. Welcome, Nicole. And our Green Beauty community viewers and members know that it wouldn't be a GBC Live production if we didn't have some kind of technical difficulties. So we're just keeping our tradition alive. But thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nicole. I was perusing through the Instagram and noticed that in your bio, GSN Planet is actually a trade association. So what can you tell us about that, and how does that help your mission as a sustainable spa and salon network partner?
Sure. Do you want to take that, Mike, or do you want me to?
Sure, I can talk a little bit about that. As a trade association, we're able to have a membership organization as well. So we are actively always recruiting new members to GSN Planet. And a little bit about the history of the organization, how it even got started, was back in 2003. ISPA, which stands for International Spa Association, was having its annual conference, and Deborah Zake was the keynote speaker at the time. And she talked a lot about creating that kind of this rallying call to get spas involved and helping become more earth-centered and planetary-minded at the time. Now, Deborah Zake owns and founded a large spa down in Mexico called Rancho La Puerta, and she's considered the grandmother of spa. She's a voice in our industry. She's very active in the in policy making and speaking on the Hill. And she's now, I believe, 102. So she's still really out there working it. After that kind of rallying call, a group of people got together after ISPA and just started talking about how can we create resources for spas to become greener and more sustainable. That conversation went on for a while, and the group eventually called itself Healing the Waters. And it wasn't until 2007 that the organization actually became the trade association and became incorporated as a 501c6. And then as the organization continued to grow, and you know how this is as a small organization, when you have working board members, it's a lot of work because we all have full-time jobs as well. And yet there's that passion or that seed that's there to really get going and do something that's meaningful and important. So the group continued to work, and it wasn't really until about 2012 when the organization finally developed what we call the toolkit and the sustainability resources. Today that's evolved into a lovely GSN calculator, which does it all via the phone very easily to do an assessment. You don't have to add up the numbers anymore or anything. It's a great resource, and Nicole will probably talk a little bit more about that. And in 2012, we actually hired our first executive director as well, and started to be able to afford to hire staff because there was starting to get a little bit of traction around this whole notion of sustainability. That was also made possible by doing what's called a buyers conference. So that year we decided to kind of play off of what the industry had been doing with one-on-one meetings, paid meetings for brands, and we decided to host our own, and that provided the funds and to fund the executive director and some of the staffing. One of the big things I think that in GSN's history that makes it so unique is the people who are involved in this are really passionate. Michael Stusser of Osmosis Day Spa was one of the original founders, along with Tara Grocek, Jim Cheneve, Lisa Sykes, Lisa Jacobs, a lot of names that for those of you who are in the spa industry would have known. And these people kind of popped in and out of the board membership throughout the years, as I did. I came back in 2021 because I was wanting to see the organization swing out of the pandemic and get back on track and continue its traction and momentum that it had built over the years. And like many other members, periodically will be off the board, but then come back on because we have that longstanding interest. And so I would say that kind of that heart connection in all of the events that we do, whether or not it's a webinar, whether or not it's our annual summit that we'll talk about a little bit down the road, you'll find that we really blend that connection and that community building part of it's not only disseminating knowledge and all of the intellectual tools that you need to be effective. We also spend a lot of time just really building that community and that support network where you can pick up the phone and call someone if you need help in figuring something out.
Amazing. What a journey to get here to 2025. But something that stood out that I do want to kind of dig a little bit deeper into is the calculator. Nicole, can I hand that off to you to tell us about the GSN Planet calculator? What is it? Who can use it? And how should we use it? And we may have lost Nicole. So, oh, okay. Welcome back.
Sorry. Just I think as Mike was about to call on me, there I go. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I think I'm not going to echo Mike's thoughts because I think he did a great job, but I'm just really excited about kind of what GSN is doing to really provide education and different resources, namely our GSN SPA calculator, which is an incredible resource that allows a property to go in and essentially do an audit to understand how sustainable are we, like what can we be doing better. And it's really a self-service tool on our website. And that was created after we had years of feedback. And frankly, as Mike mentioned, a volunteer organization, we can't like all go to all these individual spas and give people advice. So we created this calculator.
Yeah, the great part about the calculator is it's been refined over the years, and we have to give a lot of credit for that to Chardonnay Leroux, who is also the president of the Green Spa Network Africa, who put in a lot of work on that particular digital device to make it so easy for spas to opt in. So you can just go to the GSN website, you can click the link, you can download the calculator onto your phone. Today, you can even do it chapter by chapter. If you wanted to just look at water, for example, and get a score on that, you could do that. It'll benchmark you against other participants who are in the database as well. So it's really valuable information and kind of gives you a scorecard that you can watch your progress over time as you become more sustainable.
That is amazing. I know that we did drop the link for the GSN Planet calculator, the Green Spa calculator, in our chat, and it will be in the show notes if you're catching this on a replay. But let me kind of pivot from that to the problems that we're seeing today in 2025 when this is being broadcast or recorded. What, Mike, I'll pass it to you first. What do you think is the most important and urgent problem to solve for GSN Planet?
Well, for GSN Planet, and I think the industry overall, is really that enculturation of this whole mindset of sustainability. I think we've made tremendous progress over the years. And I was, with any major change that happens, or if you think of systemic change, three variables have to kind of come together. First, science, because usually it's science that's leading the way or providing the new insight or information. And then the economics around it. Can it be economically feasible to go down this path? And then the culture. And when all three of those are present, you really do start to see a movement building. And if you think of clean beauty as a great example of that, originally people went into clean beauty because of just concerns around toxicity and making sure that they were picking safe products. some information was leaking out from the European Union that, the European list of ingredients was much more conservative than the United States, the FDA list. And so consumers started getting a little bit leery about, well, why do we have these chemicals in our products? But was interesting was the culture was starting to build around that. Science brought it to us because in the ingredient world, all raw materials, we're constantly innovating and looking at new ways of being much more sustainable in moving from traditional, what I would call petroleum-based or synthetic ingredients, to plant-based ingredients. And me personally, as a formulator, I can think back to 2008 and going to an ingredient show, and maybe 10% of the vendors would have organic or what I would call plant-based ingredients, and probably 90% was still synthetic. Today, that's completely flipped. So the economics is there, the science is there, the culture is there. But I think with sustainability as an overall movement, and this also applies to GSN, there has to be a certain part of the discipline that needs to be there to continue to do it day after day. Because it's like working out. It's raining out, it's early in the morning, it's dark, it's cold. My shoes are in the somewhere else, and I have to go outside to get them, and I have to get up early. And I'm just going to stay in bed and cover up. So, that discipline, how do we build that in? How do we build systems in that provide the discipline so that we can move forward?
That's amazing. I always say that like the two superpowers, so, when I'm coaching towards anything, whether it's sustainability, fitness, lifestyle, mindset, fashion, number one is going to be self-awareness, which is why Green Beauty Community aligns with, my mission so much. We are trying to, like you, get the resources out there. But then once we attain self-awareness, we have to be accountable. We have to be accountable every day to go do the workouts. We have to be accountable to do the repetition of, the vendor sourcing and the ingredient sourcing, and be mindful of, how all of our moves impact the climate at large, and not just, the carbon footprint or anything. So great points, Mike. Let me pass it to Nicole. If we still have you, what do you think is important or urgent for GSN Planet to accomplish right now?
Yeah, I think further along the lines of what Mike is saying, just taking a different angle, I think one of the biggest hurdles is really the perceived ability or inability for one person to act. And this thought led us to spearhead our Power of One campaign, which is about how small individual actions that one person, one individual can take can drive change. If we think about all the things that we need to change to help our planet not just survive but thrive, it's really easy to become overwhelmed and honestly just give up. And we think that, when you see mountains of trash or like all of the clothing that's wasted, or just name a problem, not one individual can solve it. And it's so easy for us to just say, I just don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. So what we started to feel that way, and even in talking to our brand partners, they'd say, well, I'm not quite green enough, I'm not quite clean enough to be part of GSN. And that really led us to start this campaign, the Power of One. So we're here to remind everyone, it's not about moving mountains as an individual. It's about very small, like individual actions that together can create monumental change. So our Power of One campaign, which is also the theme of our Sustainability Summit in October, highlights that fact. So do what you can, but do something. We just little things. So we'll talk about a lot of those different things, and we'll have some incredible speakers. But that's what I think is impacting, whether it's a salon owner, whether it's a professional that rents a chair, whether it's an esthetician with a single room, whether it's a spa operator that runs, 10 or 20 spas, or even whether it's the head of sustainability at like Hilton or Marriott. All of these individuals, it's very easy to say, well, I don't really know what to do about conserving water, or I don't really know what to do about waste. because they're all such massive problems. So we're here to really help and say, we just need to do something. And it can be small, but it's got to be something.
Amazing. I absolutely love that. And I would love to continue talking about the GSN Planet initiative. So we talked about the calculator, we talked about the Power of One campaign. I know that you mentioned wanting to build that community by providing resources. Are there any other resources that we should know about?
Our big resource is actually, and what we're focusing on this year is the Fall Summit. And Nicole will be able to speak to this as well. But the Fall Summit or the Sustainability Summit has evolved over the years. We used to have a annual gathering called Congress, which was very popular. A little bit off the norm again, because what I was talking about with that community building, we start off the event with an opening ritual. There's lots of time there's a lot of intention setting before you even get into the content. We actually bring that full circle to the end and do a closing ritual. So that became part of the vernacular, or a very much a desired part of GSN. And we stopped it for a couple years just because of economics. And we noticed that people were really clamoring to get back to it again, because it's such a great gathering for people to not only, hear expert content, but then to sit at tables to talk. We work a lot in small groups. We actually look at how do you take that information and how are we going to work with that when we get back home. So we're excited this year as the format's being reinvented one more time. And it'll be in Palm Springs in October of this year. And everyone's invited to join us at that event. It's a wonderful opportunity to, as Nicole said, whether or not you're deep green and very much into sustainability, or you're light, spring leaf green and you're just getting on board, it's really open to anyone. And you'll find a place there, whether or not you're an expert or just a novice at sustainability.
Oh, sounds super exciting. Nicole, is there anything else we should know about the GSN Planet Summit?
I think I would probably just add, Mike did a great synopsis. I would just add that it's for really anyone, whether you're a spa or salon operator, whether you're a brand, whether you're an emerging brand, or whether you're a massive brand that has retail distribution all over the world. There's really a place for everyone in between. If you're someone like you talked about, Mikee, I know you're an operator, but you're also a coach and you fill all these different roles. We have a lot of coaches and educators that come as well. It's really an incredible community. And I think that's part of the reason Mike had said that everyone was kind of clamoring for this event. So many people that come, they've attended for years and they look forward to this event. They plan around this event. So when we took a little hiatus during the pandemic, we realized we had to bring it back. So it's back, and this year it's actually going to feature 3 different incredible nonprofit leaders that are doing different things through facets of whether it's sustainability related to water conservation, related to our oceans, related to our food. We're also going to have some deep dives into ingredients and why ingredients, what we put into products matters, and how we source them, why that matters. So it's a pretty exciting event, and please check it out and try to attend. And especially if you're in Southern California, we will have the ability to just do like a single day if you can't come for all 3 days, but you should come for all 3 days. So,
Nicole, adding on to that, one of the outgrowths of just doing the meeting was we started off by looking at what type of menu are we going to be offering way back when. And, vegetarian options or plant-based options were, before they even became popular, was part of how we structured the meeting. So we also have today the Green Meeting checklist, which I think is a great resource, and also on the website as well. So we look at everything of how that meeting is structured. And this is something that organizations can do, meeting planners can do, hotels can do, and use it as part of how they work with different groups to set up meetings. But it really starts to make a difference when you think of it holistically, of what are the food options that you're going to be choosing let's get you outside into nature, because that connection with nature is so important. What are the opportunities to find that in the agenda? And you'll see there's a whole list of different ways to conserve waste and conserve on a lot of the byproducts that are left over after meetings, let's put it that way.
So it's like a green event network instead of a green spa network.
Yeah,
A checklist
that's the
there.
goal. That's the goal. So bring your reusable cup, because we will not have any disposable cups available. That's the plan.
Amazing. So Nicole, I'm going to keep it on you. Just is there any other resource in the GSN Planet toolkit that we should be aware of?
I think the other resource would really be our community. So we talked about community a little bit when it came to the summit, but another big reason that people join GSN is for our broad community of operators, of brands, of consultants, of educators. And I find that spa operators will go to the GSN community to try to find brands that fit a particular need in their property. So it's become a very like collegial, like a great. It's become a great group where everyone is very friendly. And when an operator knows they need, whether it's massage chairs or salon chairs or a skincare product, they kind of head to our directory first. So that I think is probably one of our top resources. And honestly, before we introduced the calculator or some of the other elements of our toolkit, that was a big reason why people join and continue to be part of GSN.
Amazing. I'll look forward to coming into the rooms for the GSN Planet Mastermind, if you will. But thank you, Nicole. Mike, is there any other hidden tips or tricks from the toolkit that you can share with us?
Just a couple of the things that we're working on toward the future is the tagline for GSN used to be Vital People, Vital Planet. So we have the sustainability aspect of it, but then we have the actual individual wellness or the individual sustainability of the people that are involved in the organization as well. So one of the things that we're working on now is an assessment that's called the Individual and Organizational Wellness and Sustainability Assessment that'll be able to, where organizations will be able to take that and get data both on how well the individuals feel that they are within an organization, and then also the wellness of the organization or the sustainability practices of the organization overall. So that's a resource that's coming up in the future. As I was just thinking on our conversation today, I think sometimes people get overwhelmed by, oh my God, how can I really make a difference? And that's why we went back to that kind of power of one concept. But the one thing I notice, again, with some of our partners, and where some of our partners struggle, is trying to do too much too fast. So I think sometimes just narrowing in. I'll give you an example. I stay about 200 nights on average with one of the major hotel brands in our network, and we're still using plastic bottles, and in some case, the 4-ounce plastic bottles yet by that brand. And I asked myself, what would the impact be if that was my only focus for the year, is get rid of that plastic and get onto water dispensers and carafes or whatever mechanism you want to do to get rid of that plastic. And whereas the brand may be focused on many different sustainability initiatives, but sometimes I think refocusing on just narrowing the playing field, getting targeted, laser focused on one thing. And that's what we've been doing in this organization, is kind of taking a step back and saying, hey, yes, we want to do everything. And let's do the sustainability summit well this year, or let's do our webinar calendar well this year, our educational resources. And then next year, let's pick up another thing. So I'd say break it down, focus, and get clear.
Amazing. I love that. The last bit was so important. But I really wanted to showcase to our Green Beauty community members and viewers all the things that make the GSN Planet a worthwhile investment, if you will. So thank you for that. I'm going to pivot a little bit because I'm so excited for Earth Month every year. I'm excited for Earth Month as well as Earth Year because I try to celebrate it all along. But tomorrow is Earth Day. It is the culmination of all of our efforts, throughout the month of March leading into Earth Month. Does GSN Planet have any Earth Day or Earth Month initiatives?
Yes, I will take this opportunity to highlight. We have kind of two primary initiatives. One is our similar to Green Beauty community. We have a Pledge for the Planet, and the theme again is the power of one because it has I think 8 tenets. But we're asking individuals, we're asking spa operators to attempt to make these changes in their property and in their lives. So we're looking. I think that Hannah had put the link somewhere in here. So we would really appreciate more pledges for the planet. And it just says, I will do better. I will make an attempt to use less plastic. I will make an attempt to conserve water. Some basic tenets of sustainability. The other campaign that we just launched on social media, and this is not just Earth Month though, like for us, Earth Month is every month, and I think for you guys too. So we launch things during Earth Month, but it continues in perpetuity. So this campaign is called "I Ditch the Cup," and it's about something I alluded to earlier. We really want to reduce the amount of plastic and disposable cups in general that go into landfills every year. So this month we launch our Ditch the Cup initiative, which is about stop using a disposable cup when you go to get your Starbucks or whatever it is, your coffee or your boba. Take a reusable cup, and that will cut down. I mean, in the U.S. alone, we send around 130 billion disposable cups to the landfill every year. And that's a behavior that, look, the first few times you'll forget your cup. You'll say, oh, I have to actually now go to the store to order it rather than doing Starbucks mobile. I'm telling you, it is so rewarding. And then after 2 or 3 times, it's not even a thing. You don't think about it anymore. You grab your cup. And by the way, if you take a cup, I often get a little bit more. Just saying, because they try to fill the cup up. So get a big cup. You didn't hear that from me. But anyway, this is something that we're really pushing for our meeting in October. I think I mentioned we are not going to be supplying plastic cups, and we're actually talking to some of our brand partners about sponsoring a reusable cup that will be offered. So that's part of our eco meetings and our green meeting initiative. So that is something that we're starting now, but it's going to continue forever because the disposable cups are not going away, but we really need to be part of the effort to reduce how many of them we send to the landfill.
Amazing. And it always blows my mind that, a lot of the disposable cups are marketed as paper cups. They're good for the landfill. And then
Yep.
you find out that they actually have plastic and other carcinogens in them. So great initiative. Mike, did we forget anything for Earth Month?
Not that I can think of. Thanks, Nicole.
Yes, that was so good. So I know that Hannah did put the pledge in the chat. And so, all of us GBC members will have to come sign the GSN Planet pledge and vice versa. The communities supporting the communities. With that said, I want to get to, where we can find you. If somebody's not heard of the GSN Planet Green Spa Network, how can we find you? How can we get a hold of you, during or after this broadcast or replay?
The easiest way is just to Google
Yeah,
it
I
on
think.
GSN Planet, and the homepage pops up right away. And all of our contact information is there. Lots of resources and links. It's a rich website.
Amazing. And do we have social media? Can we plug anything?
Yep, I would say Instagram and LinkedIn are kind of our primary modes of communication. And I will see if I sent the LinkedIn over. If not, I'm gonna send it right now.
Well, I do believe Hannah put the Instagram in our chat for those who are tuning in live, and it will also be in the show notes for anyone catching the replay afterwards. And we'll have the LinkedIn in there as well. Mike, I want to switch it. We talked about the past, the present, and a little bit of the future. Is there any other things on the horizon for GSN Planet? What innovations can we expect?
Yeah, I think on the innovation side, where you know, as I just talk about narrowing the playing field, right, and getting focused on one or two things and doing those well. One of the things that I think that I would like to see us expand more and that I'm excited about personally is obviously the personal care side. We used to have a personal care council that was part of GSN. And, when we were chatting earlier, Mike and Hannah, I think even just partnering with an organization like yours and not reinventing the wheel, but rather how can we pull these resources together so that we're covering all those bases? Because a lot of our members are personal care product developers and different brands, and it's something I'd like to see us have more resources available for that side of the community, in addition to our spa partners.
Sounds like a much needed partnership and a way to grow the future into something better than I can already envision it. How about you, Nicole? Is there any innovations that you'd like to share?
No, I think Mike kind of covered it. Yeah, I think that really covers it. What we're working on.
Okay, well
But
then,
I would just echo one thing, because what Mike said a few minutes ago is absolutely true. In the past, we all are guilty of taking on too many initiatives. That's why this year we're really laser focused on really two major initiatives, which he talked about. And then next year, once we get these and these are successful and great, then next year I think we'll be able to add another one and be laser focused on that. So then, Mike, maybe that's when we'll go after all the hotel chains about their bottled water. And I'd also like to add airlines, even though that's a little bit more ancillary, but that's a topic for another day.
we've made a lot of progress in the eco warrior sustainability fields, but we have a giant task at hand as well. So I'm super committed. I know everyone at GBC is super committed to making the world a better place, and it's just an honor for me to get to share GSN Planet's mission and ethos and resources with our community members. So with that said, I'll pass it to each one of you for some final thoughts. So Mike, any final thoughts? Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't think to ask, or any questions for us?
Mike, I think you're very comprehensive, and I don't, like have any final thoughts other than intentions are so important. So starting off your day with a good intention for perhaps the one thing that you're going to be laser focused on and you want to start working on, setting that top of mind in the morning, what one action you're going to do towards that goal, I think is very powerful. You as a coach probably have many more opportunities for helping people with individual behavior change, because to be honest with you, you can come up with the most sustainable solutions in the world, and this is something we see in the personal care side of things as well. You can design a great new bottle that's of a sustainable material, but it probably doesn't look quite as luxury as perhaps the past bottle did, or maybe there's some type of it's not functioning to the optimal level yet. And consumer adoption of sustainability is where I think we have a lot of work yet to do. So I'm just thinking, take it small once again, set an intention, do something. And by doing that, we start to build more momentum around many, many individuals working on the same goal as they work on their own goals.
That's a great point. I always call that, the positivity loop. Focus on that one thing, get good at it, and it will motivate us to get that good at many, many other things. So great point, Mike. I'll pass it over to you, Nicole. Any final thoughts? Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't think to, or any questions for us?
No, I also think it was very comprehensive. I would add that, like Mike said, I think next year one of our initiatives will be around packaging, because it is. But Mike's point is spot on. It's really more about consumer education, because consumers still think that like a big fat heavy plastic bottle with multiple like pieces, whether it's hair care or skin care or body care or personal care, that seems better to them than a more simplistic single material type of single color type of bottle. Like, we know which one sells more, and that's unfortunately what's causing a lot of the waste. So that'll be a big initiative for us next year. I would also just say that we're very excited to connect with GBC, and for us, often it feels like a lot of the work we're doing is in a vacuum, and it's really great to have a like-minded partner that's doing similar work with an adjacent industry. So I think we can piggyback off of each other, and maybe even do like different projects and support each other, so that we're not all doing everything. So we're very excited about it.
I'm sure that is already in the works, and just part of the GBC core lore, if you will. We started the GBC from Clubhouse way back in the day,
Right.
during pre and during COVID era, and back then we all felt like we were. A one-man army, a person all alone on an island, feeling helpless to change the world. And we connected, and now we're continuing to foster and facilitate those connections. And like I said, I think we have a big task at hand, but I know we're all motivated to accomplish that. So with that said, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, GSN Planet, Green Spa Network, all the initiatives and everything, the community that you are bringing awareness to, that we're helping facilitate. We just appreciate your time. We know it's the resource all of us have the least amount of. So spending it with us is such an honor. And I'm just going to wrap up with an announcement, reminder, if you will, that these amazing webinars, everything that we put out on social media, are all driven by the community and support from donations by viewers like you. So if you haven't reached out, taken the Green Pledge, and done your matching donation with InnerSense up to $5,000 for Earth Month, feel free to do that. You'll get a nice tax write-off or incentive for your taxes in 2026, because tax day's already passed. For those who haven't friended me or followed me yet, I'm at Metro Mikee on all platforms, but I'm here representing Green Beauty Community. You can find us on greenbeautycommunity.com. That's our website that houses all of our webinar series, our information, our resources, our courses, our online education. And you can find us on all social media platforms at Green Beauty Community, except on Instagram, where that was already taken. So we had to be Green Beauty Community Foundation, but that supports and lets everyone know that we are a 501c nonprofit. So thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, GSN Planet. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of our viewers, and we'll be back next month with our next iteration of our GBC live production. So have a great day. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you.
Great, you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.